So here we are continuing our talk about ninth chords. We're continuing through the jazz theory section, and I wanted to say at this point, if you enjoy these lessons, if you're finding them useful, please subscribe, please send a like. That will really help my channel out. That will really help a lot. But without further ado, let's get going. Okay, so we got our jazz. We're talking about ninth chords. Now, we talked about last time where you can take your root, your third, your fifth, your seventh, and you just throw that ninth on top. You just put the ninth on top. And we talked about all the different ones. Let me go ahead and throw our treble clef there. Okay, so you're putting the ninth one, you're putting the ninth there. Again, this is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Don't get confused why it's a 9. We got our ninth there. And there's different things we can do with the ninth. So we looked at all the different ways where we can take the chord at the bottom and we can change the chord to, minor and dominant sevens and stuff like that. Like we can take all the different sevens. We saw this last time. But there's more interesting things we can do with that ninth, because what's the fun with just a normal ninth, right? I'm going to go ahead and do a couple there. Okay, so we saw our ninth here, and we just put the ninth on top. Now, the cool thing is we can change this ninth. So right now, we saw that this is called a C major 9, right? And this is called a C9 or C dominant 9, and this is called a C minor 9, and this is called a C minor 9 flat 5, you could say, right? Now, the cool thing what you can do is change the 9 by adding an accidental. And usually all you have to do is either do one of 3 different things. You can do normal 9, this is your natural 9, or just a 9. I'll put the natural in parentheses. You can do sharp 9, which of course means you're putting a sharp on the 9. And then you can do flat 9. Oops, I'm sorry, sharp 9. And then you can do flat 9. So what does this mean? I was going to draw 9 for my note, but okay. What does this mean? Okay, let's see this in practice. So we're going to do C major flat 9, for example. Okay, follow along. We're going to make our C major 7, just like normal. No, nothing out of the key signature. And then we're going to take our 9 and we're going to put a flat on it. That's it. That's it. You make your C major and you put a flat 9. That's it. That is all it is. Super simple, right? So you take your C, G, B, it's your major 9, right? Or major 7 right there. Now, instead of putting that ninth on top with the D natural, we're going to make the D flat. And you get this cool chord. Now, what's the context for these? We will talk about that in a while. But we're just looking at how to turn this into the correct notes. How to turn this into the correct notes. Now, it doesn't matter. If you want to do this as bass clef, and you can like extrapolate this and put the C down here, and put the G here and the E here, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. You can put the B here. It doesn't matter. This is still, we still have, the C is here, right? Follow along. You got these notes right there. The E is the same. The G is jumping down an octave. We're keeping everything the same. This is still a C major flat 9, right? There's many ways you could play this. You could double the C, right? Double the C in the bass. So you got this going. I can do this with my octave thing. Right? So you got your big fat C note down there, right? You put your C note, you stretch out your chord like that. It's beautiful. My keyboard here isn't big enough to play all these notes, but you can imagine. Still C major flat 9. So just because you see this doesn't mean you have to play it in closed position like that. You can stretch it out. There's many ways, depending on what kind of sound you want. You can also put these a little bit closer. You could technically put the D flat right there, right? It would still work. Okay, so let's go ahead and see another one. So we got our C major flat 9. Let's go ahead and do C major sharp 9, right? C major sharp 9. So same thing. All we do is C, E, G, C, E, G, B. Super simple. And then we're all going to do put a sharp 9, right? That's it. You put a sharp on your 9. Now let's talk about something else. Let me get an example here. Let me talk about, what is something that has a flat? We could talk about C flat, but that's boring. Let's go with A flat major. Okay, so we got A flat, so A flat, we're going to do A flat. Check this out. A flat major sharp 9, okay? We're still talking about sharp 9. This is where it gets a little sticky, and you might disagree with me, and it depends on what you're used to, and depends on whom you're talking. But it works like this. So you got your A, right? You put your A flat. You got your C, your E flat. These are out of the key signature. A flat, C, E flat, G. This is out of your key signature, right? If you're in the key of A flat, you got B, E, A, D, B, E, A, and D flat, right? Okay, so here is your 9. Here is your 9. Bear with me here, because this is where it gets a little strange. Right now we got our A flat, oops, I'm getting ahead of myself. A flat major 7, right? It's exactly what this is right here. Okay, now we're going to put the sharp 9 on top. So we got our 9, and we're going to sharp it, right? This is wrong. You can't sharp it. Why can't you sharp it? Because naturally, if you're in the key of A flat major, you have B flat. So you have to put a sharp and a flat on it. You got to put, your flat is the normal one, and then you're adding a sharp. So sharp plus a flat equals what? Equals a natural. So this would be it. You can put the natural there just to say, I know it's supposed to be flat, but we're making it sharp, you know, because you got the sharp 9. So instead of the sharp 9, because people would look at this and say, well, I have a sharp 9. Why is my 9 not sharp? So some people would say this is A flat major natural 9, which is annoying. Because if you're in another key, you don't know what key you're in, right? This is different from this, right? They don't look the same. So it has to do with context. You have to be careful what key you're in. So it's okay to say, oops, let me get rid of all this nonsense. It's okay to say this is still sharp 9, even though it's that, even though you naturalized it. You put a natural on it. It's okay. You are still using sharp 9. You're raising your 9th a half step. It's still the same thing. Okay, so you can do this with all your 7th chords now. You now are fully capable of taking all your crazy 7th chords that we talked about, just throwing a 9 on it, and then you can either sharp it, flat it. You can even double flat it for all I care. It doesn't really matter at this point. I say that, and then I have an exception. If you do double flat 9, like technically you could write it. Like, let's go back to C, and I'll show you the problem with this. So you got C, E, G, B, and then I'm going to invert colors here because this is how weird it is. Okay, so you got, this would be, if you wanted to write this out, this would be C major double flat 9, right? Which, technically that's what it is, but there is a difference, or there's a problem. Here's the problem. D double flat and C are the same note. So even though you can get a little silly, and harmonically they're the same, right? You would play the same key, right? I'm still down octaves. There we go, whatever. Okay, so they're still the same note. They're harmonically the same note. So this is a little strange. You will never see a double flat 9 because of that. You could get into microtonality and stuff and real tuning and stuff and say, well, D double flat and C are technically different notes. Okay, fine. But still, you wouldn't really see this because you already have the pitch class. It sounds the same. Relatively, it sounds the same as just that, right? This note and that note are pretty much the same pitch class. Okay, there's other discrepancies like this. Let me think of one. There we go. I got it. So if we have C minor, this is the note. I'm going to use a different color because, again, it's weird. C minor, what was it? C minor sharp 9. That was it. C minor sharp 9. So let's go ahead and write this and see why it doesn't work. This is why you have to be careful and why you won't see every single combination. Okay, so we got our notes here. We got our C minor. We're going to put our accidentals here. So this makes it a C minor 7, right? You got your C, E. And maybe you're ahead of me already, but you're kind of wondering why we can't put the sharp 9. Let's go ahead and put our sharp 9. So this is exactly, if you write this chord, this is exactly the notes you want, right? The problem with this is, again, you have that enharmonic thing. You got an E flat already here. This is your E flat. And you have a D sharp. And again, you have that problem with E flat and D sharp are the same pitch class, right? So you have the enharmonic stuff. So you have to be careful with all the combinations. And you could make a whole chart that says, okay, well, we're going to have 9 and sharp 9. And then the 9s always work because that's its own pitch class. But you got your sharp 9, you got your flat 9. And then you could make like, you know, over here you put your C. Is this showing? Yeah, okay. You got like major 7. There you go. You got your major 7. You got your dominant 7. You got your minor 7. You got your minor 7, flat 5, that kind of thing. And you could make all the different chord combinations and stuff and say, well, these all work. This is fine. This is fine. And let's see. This was the minor sharp 9, so this one would not work. Let's go with crazy colors. So you could do this. You could do the homework and find out which ones are possible, right? And why double sharp or double sharps, double sharp 9 and double flat 9 and see if you could really make them work. And this is really stretching the boundaries of this. Like, you could do this if you really wanted to. But again, this is more experimentation. Can you turn every single one into notes? And I kind of encourage you to do this. Make your own worksheets this way, and just write. Well, I want to make E flat minor 7 flat, or I'm sorry, E minor 9 flat 5. Like, see if you can make this chord, for example, and then you just go and you say, well, I need the E, the G, the B, and the D, and the F, right? There's your 9. Okay, and then in the key of E flat minor, we got E flat. We need all these flat because that makes our minor 7, E minor 7. And we got a 9 on top. And I forgot the flat 5. We're going to flat that 5th again. So there's your chord, okay? So it would work, okay? It makes sense. I'm sorry, did I flatten? I think I flatted the 9. Yeah, there we go. I hope you guys were yelling at me. Okay, I believe this is correct. Anyway, like I said, you can make your own worksheets. You could go through each one, roll dice, make your own thing up, make 10, and then that's your warm-up for the day to see if you can really get these down. And you can stack them in closed position. You can try extrapolating them into crazy things like this, where you got your E stretched out. Maybe make them root position. Maybe flip them. Maybe make E flat minor 9 flat 5 over G flat, right? You could do that because that's over the 3rd then. You could do this. This could be a good exercise for you, depending on your skill level and what you want to do as an exercise. You could really go crazy with this. Okay, so this is 9ths. Later we will see 11ths and so on. Maybe next time I'll do an exercise kind of like this, so we can just draw these out and see what they would look like and how we could play them. But that is it for this. This is how you make altered 9 chords, I believe they're called. Altered ninths. Oops, I can't spell this. Altered. It's either an A. Oh, no. Okay, pretend I know. Altered 9th chords. Okay. I'm losing credibility. Altered 9th chords. Okay, I hope you guys found this useful. I hope this was straightforward enough. And please like and subscribe. That would really help me out. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good week. Have a good day. Have a good practice session. See ya.